Today I'm standing here in the Wahoo Demo Center here at Urban Peddler, and I want to talk a little bit about smart trainers and the indoor riding experience. In a minute we're going to talk about the value you get from buying from Urban Peddler and how we can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that some people have experienced after getting their trainer home and realizing they don't have everything they need to get set up properly the first time. Now, smart trainers are trainers that communicate to your phone, your iPad, or your laptop, and the app that you have running on those devices control the resistance in the trainer, whether you're going uphill or downhill, to give you that realistic experience. There are two kinds of smart trainers. One are the traditional kind where you have the rear wheel still on the bike, the trainer connects the rear axle, and the rear tire rubs on a drum, and the drum is what creates the resistance. The other kind of smart trainer is the kind where you take off the rear wheel and the bike connects directly to the trainer, and the trainer already has a cassette and quick release on it. So that is actually a little lower to the ground and gives them a little more realistic experience. It's also a little more quiet than the drum style traditional trainer. When it comes down to it, basically the more dollars you spend, the more realistic experience. And the more realistic experience, the more engaging and the more apt you are to enjoy the experience. One of our clients, Steve, bought a trainer about 2 years ago and originally got it just for the bad weather days so that he didn't miss his training rides. I follow his Strava feed and I see that almost all of his rides now are races or training rides. He's got 2-3 hour rides, 160-kilometer rides, all showing up in his Strava from riding on Zwift. And I'm thinking, no, this guy's gone nuts. And recently he told us a story about the fact that he had to set it up in the living room. He was going to town on it. He smelled something burning. His wife walked in the door right as he was looking to see what was burning and realized that as he was riding really hard, it had scooted back and now his back tire was rubbing on their leather couch. And I think he's on his 5th couch now. But he's actually blown it out and it's become his main form of fitness now. So if you buy a trainer from Urban Peddler, one of the things that you're going to get is we're going to take the time to walk through your desired setup, what you're trying to achieve, to make sure that you get everything set up the first time. Before we choose the trainer that you're going to buy, we want to make sure that it's compatible with the bike that you're going to use. Is it 8, 9, 10, or 11 speed? Is it through axle or quick release? Does it have disc brakes or rim brakes? And is it SRAM, Shimano, or Campy on the free hub body? Now those are all things that I've seen catch people up when they get their bike and trainer at home. They go to set it up and they realize they're not compatible. So we want to get those things figured out the first time. Then we want to figure out the setup that you desire to have in your home. Do you want to use a big screen? How are you going to control the trainer? Are you going to use an iPad? Are you going to use a phone? Are you going to use a laptop to control your trainer? And then if you're going to use a laptop, where are you going to position it? Because you do have to get to some of the buttons during the apps to do things during your ride without getting on and off the bike. So those are all things that we want to really figure out your desired setup and really look at how we're going to accessorize to make sure that you can get that set up. Also, if you're using a big screen on the wall, how are you going to connect your devices to that big screen? That's also another issue that people run into a lot. One of the things that we're trying to figure out now for a couple people is they want to have heart rate data and they want to have cadence data that's connected to the crank. Those normally don't communicate directly with your phone or your iPad or your laptop because they don't use Bluetooth. So those use A&T Plus as a connectivity standard. And there's ways to make those integrate into the apps as well, but it's a little more difficult. And those are things that we probably want to figure out before you make your purchase so that we can get all the right stuff. Lastly, we want to talk about accessorizing so that you can get the most enjoyment out of the experience. The rubber mat that I'm standing on is really handy. If you have nice floors, the amount of sweat that's going to pour on the floors probably over time is going to erode the floor. So having a nice rubber mat that you can give a nice clean wipe afterwards is really nice. It also makes it a little more quieter if you're running this on a hard surface. How are you going to connect your phone to your handlebars? So we've got quad lock that we use here. How are you going to hold your iPad? Are you going to connect it to the handlebars? You're going to have a freestanding stand. There's also things you can get to put your laptop on so that you can scoot it back over your handlebars. A sweat net will keep your headset lasting longer. There's a lot of little stuff that we can really recommend to make sure that we wrap up a really good package so that you get the most out of the indoor training experience. Urban Peddler is the official dealer for Wahoo, Tacx, and Cyclops trainers here in Melbourne. And I'm standing here in the Wahoo Demo Center where you can come in and you can try these trainers, you can try the apps. And there's so many different home environments and bike combinations. Come in and talk to me and we'll find the best solution for you. I need to get over this little hump. In a minute, we're going to talk about buying from Urban. cut that. In a minute, we're going to talk about the reasons why buying from Urban Peddler. No, that doesn't sound right. The reasons why, does it? In a minute, we're going to talk about the value you get from buying.
This is a hump, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a hump. A few other apps that allow you to ride and be. I think that was a pretty good segment.